Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we are looking at a huge range of weekend sport. We've got F1, we've got NBA, we've got Final Four, we've got NRL, we've got absolutely everything under the sun. Stats Guy, what are you looking at?
I'm on the green machines in the F1 with Aston Martin.
Wow, you sound pretty excited about it. Alex, what about you?
Get excited, Stats Guy! I've got his man, the Cheezel, to get 30 plus!
Yes.
I think you're also looking at some EPL as well, aren't you? Something like that.
There's that donation, and I'll probably yell about some stupid Man City player.
It is an absolute shocker show today. Player props, game picks, best bets. It's Code Bet Daily. It's real good. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Friday, March 31st. That's right. The day before your favorite websites and brands come up with the most hilarious jokes. Can't wait to just ignore all of April Fool's Day tomorrow. Just saying. It is March 31. This is episode 83 of Code Bet Daily. Haven't been fired yet. I'm your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website we call Code Bet, because that's its name. You can find that at codebet.com.au. All your odds comparison betting analysis needs covered in one spot. We are chockers at the moment as well. It's a huge weekend. We've got F1, there's AFL, NRL. We've got the MLB season starting. We've got
EPL's back.
NCAA tournament, EPL. It's chaos. So
absolute chaos.
Better get into this one then and knock it over then. So I'm joined, as always, by the pontiffs of punting. We've got Stats Guy over there.
I'm pumped with the F1's back. We could hear him from the office yesterday. So very, very excited for that.
Nice one. And we've got Alex Donnelly as well. What's going on, Alex?
I'm just glad Stats Guy didn't make a fool of himself last night, so he's back on retribution.
Thank you.
A few office drinks last night. Got a little bit hairy there with Stats Guy just threatening the fight.
That is not true at all.
Stats Guy telling the same story 3 times in 5 minutes was a good time.
I do that with or without drinks, I think.
He's got photos to show you, and it's going to go hard. Right. And this is Code Hungover Daily. We're all about what it says on the tin. It's codes, it's bets, it's daily. We've got player props, game picks, best bets for today, the weekend, everything in between. Chockers weekend. Let's get into it. This is what we always start with. I don't know. What am I looking at? I'm looking at NBA, AFL, MLB, and the Final Four. It's a lot. We're covering a lot of ground today. I'm excited. What about you, Liam?
Some AFL and the F1, obviously the Australian Grand Prix on this weekend.
Nice one. What about you, Alex?
I've got the donation, EPL and AFL.
Nice. Right. Get into it. One player prop, a player performance look. I've already mentioned this, so I'm going to hit on very quickly. The AFL, we've got GWS hosting Carlton up in Sydney tomorrow. Harry McKay, I keep saying he's due. He's due. 5+ goals. This is shortened dramatically, though, from what I brought up on yesterday's program, where I believe it was $10.50. It's now $7.75.
Okay.
That broke. So there's a lot of money going, hang on a second. Carlton might absolutely belt GWS, or we might see Hazard just go absolutely ham, because I think I mentioned this very quickly yesterday with Liam on Code Bet Daily, that he's had 23 scoring shots in 5 games against the US. He's only kicked 12 goals. He's gone 12-11, which is very classically Harry McKay.
Classic, yeah.
Same time, it means he absolutely loves getting his hand on the pill against the Giants, and I think he's going to have a big one. So you can go to 7.75. You want to go 5+ goals. Obviously, that's a bag. My favorite one, though, is literally just Harry to kick the most goals in the game.
The most goal. That's a good one.
With Bet365, 3.75 just to kick the most. Obviously, it doesn't have to get to 5. It can just be 3. Charlie has 2. Off we go. So I really like that one. And so I did a little bit of digging into that late yesterday. Came up with this alternative, and that's why it's in today's show. But for some other player performance looks, I did a massive breakdown on the MLB, which has started today. Ooh. I'll tell you what, baseball is back, because it literally is. But also, it's actually a little bit more exciting because they've now got a pitch count, and the games are flying. It is
much quicker. Yeah.
So you can go read my big breakdown on all the contenders, or at least basically the top. I think I had 12 teams with their corresponding odds to actually take out this year's World Series in 162 games time.
Yeah, nice.
No, it's so. I actually love it, but it goes 14 so
months.
It's ridiculous. On that one, we'll see how we go, and that'll be in
so
4 months' time. So, but either way, what I didn't do yet was a player awards vibe, and looking at the NL MVP and the AL MVP just really quickly for the show, I was like, hang on a second, these prices are great. So Shohei Ohtani, over there for the LA Angels, coming off a world.
What a man.
Well, was it the Baseball Classic?
World Baseball Classic, yeah.
Looked awesome. And with the new rules, he'll be batting probably even more than he had been. So even on days that he's not pitching, he'll be out there batting with the Angels. He's going to go all Babe Ruth, and he's at $3 for the AL MVP. That is wildly short ahead of a season.
That is short. Wow.
My favorite one, though, is Julio Rodriguez up there in Seattle. I do love my Mariners. I'm a Red Sox fan, but Seattle's always going to have a place in my heart. He's at $9. It's his second year. He was awesome last year. Absolutely awesome. Ticks all the boxes. He could absolutely mash a million home runs, and this Mariners team could be awesome. The only problem is he plays in like a bit of a pitcher's park. But as a rookie, he put up great numbers. I just love Julio. So for $9 at Bet365, I'm like, ooh, don't mind that. So there's the favorite. So Shohei with $3 with Ladbrokes and Bet365. And Julio is a bit of a longer shot in the AL. In the NL, Manny Machado, $16 for this San Diego Padres team that is absolutely loaded. Do you know how much money they gave out in contracts in the last year and a bit? Over $1 billion worth.
Oh, that sounds like Chelsea.
Yeah, but this team might be successful.
True.
But basically, over $1 billion essentially for 4 dudes. In terms of
definitely Chelsea.
So, the only one is like Juan Soto is basically, he's sitting on another big one right there, ready to roll. But Manny Machado feels like he was awesome last year. Now he's got a little bit more of support around him, a little bit more of a sort of vibe. Fernando Tatis will come back at some point from his suspension and injury. And I really love Manny to have a massive MVP year. He's been unreal when he's healthy, and I think this might be the year where the Padres put it all together, and so does he. $16, love that. And Austin Riley, an absolute masher over there on third base with the Atlanta Braves. Let's go, Austin. He is absolute. What is he, like 25? He is set up to have just a massive, massive year. Austin Riley's going to be incredible. So that's the sort of, in terms of the NL, favorites aren't quite as short priced as Shohei. So I love Manny, and I'll go Austin Riley as my longest shot. So there you go. A couple of really good
good value,
player props. Heaps of value there too. You can dig into all the home run over-unders, team win over-unders. I mean, you'll have plenty of time because baseball, with 1 million games to go, there's always plenty of futures markets. Keep an eye on that. Right, Stats Guy, what are you looking at for the weekend?
Looking at the showdown in the AFL, which is Adelaide versus Port Adelaide, the big derby over there. This has been an awesome match in the last few years. And I'm looking at Jordan Dawson. He recently became their captain after only playing one season for them, which is pretty crazy. People couldn't believe it. But I honestly believe he might have become captain because he kicked a goal after the siren for him last year. And they're like, yeah, this guy can be captain.
Or also because he displays leadership qualities and he's 47 like Tex.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they needed a good leader. He averaged 25 touches last year off halfback. He's their second sort of big ball winner other than Laird. So Laird gets around that 30. When they don't have that many players that get 25, a lot of the odds are over $253 for a lot of other players because they sort of struggle to get that. But Dawson really does. They like to rotate him on the wing and halfback. Wherever the ball really is being played, they put him where it is just because he's an elite ball user. So I think he can step up. He's shown how he's cool, calm, and collective in these derbies with that goal after the siren. So I wouldn't be surprised if he steps up. You get 25 touches for him is $1.88. Chuck it in your multi or things like that. I can't see other Crows players getting much more of the ball other than Laird. So get on Dawson.
Yeah, I think they might get smashed this weekend. So
and he plays backline. So yeah, I think if they get smashed, at least sort of like my Sicily bet the other day, then yeah, we'll see. Might see a lot down in defence.
25 plus for Jordan Dawson. Don't mind that, $1.88. Alex, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at North Melbourne and Hawthorn. I'm looking at Stats Guy's new favourite man, Harry Sheezel. I had a look at LDU for this game, but I feel like Hawthorn will try and tag him like they did Chunley last week. So maybe avoid LDU as far as
can break it.
Prop goes. Yeah, but Stats Guy, people still get tagged. Just, be realistic. Look at you. You're all confident. You're up and about. You're about to go 3-0.
Oh, you've been bagging me for... No, I'm not that confident.
This guy's about to rip off his shirt, and underneath will be a North Melbourne top. Don't worry.
Yeah, but he'll have a Sheezel tattoo across his chest already. But yeah, look, in his 2 games to start, we've all said he's had 30 plus touches. He's on track to be the rising star already. He's playing better than Ashcroft. This is the worst team he's played against in both games. His running carry is going to be really important. Now, importantly for this, Hawthorn in the first 2 rounds have, from halfback in their transition, have come to the corridor the most in the league. Their scoring rank, 18.
That surprises me for a bad team.
Well, it's just like, they're attacking and hoping for the best, and it doesn't work. Maybe go down the boundary.
So maybe just chill and
Stop
giving them the ball.
Yeah, literally. It's like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's Hawthorn coming through the corridor.
This is just rag on Hawthorn daily this week.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, so McDonald and Griffin Logue are going to be perfectly set up like Dane Rampy to take a bunch of intercept marks, just standing there like, wait, the ball's in my hand. Cool. Oh, hey, Harry, here's a handball. And just give him quick dish off. He can run and carry a couple of 1-2s, similar to what Nick Dacos has been doing for the last season and a bit. 35 plus is there at $4.80, but the 30 plus at $2.20 is the bet. But 35 plus is there because they're going to be kicking it inside that forward 50, ideally down the Suva's throat. But he's going to get a lot of looks at the ball. So 30 plus, 220, 35 plus, 480.
Oh, it's a lot to put on a young dude's shoulders, isn't it?
I like those odds, though, for 30 plus. They're very good.
Yeah. At least the value's there. But, I mean, you can't knock it because he's already done it twice.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. And this is a worse team. And the fact that they keep coming back in the corridor and it's going to be like, Griffin Lake's going to be like, just stand there. I'll give you a lot of handballs.
He actually got 6 intercept marks himself the other week. So he can.
There you go.
He's actually taller than
15.
Yeah.
I don't mind this, actually. Good. You make a good case. Right, let's do some match game picks. Very simple stuff. I just want to reiterate, I am absolutely still so on board. I left this in from yesterday's show. The Richmond-Collingwood over tonight.
Oh.
Come on. What are we doing here? Like, this is absolutely what I'm all about, because if you look at this Collingwood-Richmond team, it's the top scoring team of last year. It's actually dipped. If you look at the over-under, you can find it at CodeBet. We're displaying 175.5 is the lowest over that you can find for $1.91 with Bet365. I am over this, like, I don't know, teriyaki sauce on the rice in my bento box. Like, just sipping through it, loving every second of it. Hook me up. Like, this is a Pies team that's booted 125 and 125 in the first 2 weeks. Richmond.
It's clear out there. I just had a look.
Yeah,
I was wondering what you were doing.
That's pretty good.
That's a visual bit on a podcast if you're not watching.
Classic. Keeping the dream alive there, Donnelly. I love this over. I absolutely love this over. And the more that I've sort of looked at it, Carlton, that line they've got against GWS, I think on the AFL show back on Wednesday, I was only sort of content to go the Carlton head-to-head. Didn't really want to lean into the line too much. But the fact that I think it's still only 8.5, worries me because the bookies haven't blown it out further because they're clearly just as nervous as I am. But in some places, you can still get 6.5 in terms of Carlton. So Ladbrokes have 6.5 for Carlton at $1.90. Top Sport $1.85 at the 6.5 as well. So
that's a good line.
I love that line because, look, I think if they do win, and I expect them to win, I think they do just fall over, but they win by like 14, something like that. So you go Carlton 1-40. I don't expect them to blow them off the park, even with Harry McKay kicking a bag. But so it should be pretty tight. Carlton covered that line, though. So there you go. Stats guy, what about you?
Going to Albert Park for the F1 Australian Grand Prix. Very excited about this. Of course, I've talked a bit about.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so good. Yeah, it kicks off today with all the practice, and you can see how fast each car is looking, things like that. I'm looking at Aston Martin. We've already talked about Red Bull. Look a mile ahead, so just don't bet on them. It's not enough value. There's a bit more value in your Aston Martin cars. I like both Aston Martin cars to finish in the top 6. It's a bit more of a niche one with Ladbrokes. $1.91 you get for that. They both finish in the top 6 in the first race, where I'm going to have a look at that on the website as well, on codebet.com.au, had that tipped in the first race. Then Alonso finished 3rd in both the first 2 races. Stroll dropped off last race with problems with their car, but their car is clearly the second fastest. The recent years, they've been behind McLaren, even Haas, and a few other teams, but now they're right up into that second, third best car. So that 2 cars in the top 6, $1.91 is looking really good. Alonso is not slowing down. I think he's one of the oldest drivers on the grid, and he's not slowing down at all. One more thing I was going to say was Australia has a really narrow track. So I think they're going to go really well in qualifying. And if you go well in qualifying in Australia, it's actually very hard to overtake. So if they're expected to be in the top 5 or 6, both cars in qualifying, then I don't think they'll get overtaken after that. So hopefully they go well on Saturday night for the qualifying.
It's a great call. The cars look really, really good. They look really fast. And I think that's the sort of key, right? Like qualifying, if they look good in these
Fast
first
cars,
2 days, they should be able to park it and just stay in that top 6 pretty handily. So like you also sort of have to take in consideration, like what are the cars that are going to get past them, right? Like whether it be in qualifying, whether it be in the actual race.
People are saying Mercedes and Ferrari. Ferrari do really well in Australia the last couple of years, but their cars just not up to scratch. They're still fixing a few things where this new green machine, they're calling it, the Aston Martin, looked much better. So I'm just going to back them until they drop off, but I don't think they will.
Like it. Alex, what are you looking at for your game pick?
I'm having a look at Arsenal and Leeds in the EPL. It resumes this week. And massive one for the Gunners. A few injuries through the international period, which I yelled about yesterday to Saliba, Tierney, and Nketiah. Also, Rodri, shove it where the sun don't shine, mate. The 2 dirty tackles on Odegaard and Tierney during the international games was real.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And then you carried on like an absolute douche nozzle when you lost to Scotland.
When that
absolutely suck it, Rodri. But regardless, I'm all over Arsenal in this one. Leeds have been supremely inconsistent. Their form away from home is just horrendous. Over 2.5 goals has hit in 11 of the last 12 Arsenal games. So Arsenal over 2.5, $1.80, but also over 3.5 has hit in 8 of the last 9. So you can take that at $2.70 and just a little sneaky same game multi. Arsenal -2.
It's a sneaky one.
Yeah, a little sneaky one. You got to have something. Arsenal -2, so obviously we need to win by 3 or more. Over 2.5 goals. Well, there's your 3. Arsenal to lead at halftime. They've led at halftime in their last 4 against Leeds. Martinelli anytime. He scored in 5 of his last 6. Gabriel Jesus anytime, just because, God damn it, Jesus, please score a goal.
He's got to score eventually, yeah.
And Bukayo Saka to have 2 shots on target or more, and that'll get you $20.05 with Ladbrokes.
Oof. That's good.
That's not bad. Okay. I'm also just looking at Chris Middleton just bleeding all over the floor in the Bucks Celtics.
Oh, really?
On the chops. Jeez. That was Jay Brutal. Jay Brutal there, Chriso. Absolutely brutal from Jay.
Can't get much worse for them. They're getting smashed as well.
They are getting absolutely smashed. Nice one. Right. Best bets for the weekend. To be honest, I did love that sneaky same gamer. I'm just saying it's pretty good.
Yeah. Very nice.
Right, best bets for tomorrow, today, whenever, over the weekend. Very quickly, NBA is a massive slate tomorrow because they're like, oh, we're afraid. We don't want to put too many games on one day up against, like, baseball. Sure. Really?
Everyone's rather watch NBA.
This is shocking gear. But in terms of the actual college basketball Final Four, it's happening on Sunday.
Huge.
So first off,
to add to all the sport we have to watch on Sunday.
Exactly. I'm just like, come on, man, just give me a break, would you? That's like 9 a.m. and 11:50 a.m. as well. So that's going to start.
It also goes head to head with the first night of WrestleMania, which will have 80,000 at SoFi Stadium.
Oh, whatever will they do? But the 12-game slate tomorrow means there's plenty of opportunities. I absolutely look. We don't have too many odds up, which is shocking on behalf of some of these bookies, I'm just saying. But I love Brooklyn against Atlanta. So if we want to go some head-to-head ones, I'll just give you my 4 best out of the 12 games tomorrow. We have Brooklyn taking on Atlanta at home. Give me Brooklyn. I think they'll win that. They are desperate to keep their noses in front of Miami at the moment. The Knicks take on the Cavs. This is unreal because this is a playoff preview. They're going to play in the 4-5 spots in the first round of the playoffs. Give me the Knicks. Actually, no. Give me the Cavs now that Julius Randle's out. Sorry, I had that around the wrong way. Julius Randle is out for a couple of weeks. The Cavs should run over the top, and they'll just be too big now. So Brooklyn, Cavs. The Celtics play the Jazz tomorrow. Don't like that one. I do love the Grizzlies over the top of the Clippers and the Lakers over the Wolves. Watch out. That's going to be an absolute rip snorter. LeBron's back.
Huge. He's back.
This is an old NBA Australia take. LeBron makes his team worse because they're all afraid. LeBron's out there. You're playing with the leading scorer in NBA history. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything by themselves. They don't want to take advantage or any initiative. They're like, oh, my God, what's LeBron going to do? He might trade me halfway through the game.
He has done that before.
What are we doing? And they're just absolutely backing it. You see, when he's not out there, Austin Reeves is playing his normal game. He turns into like 2017 James Harden, getting the line like an absolute mad dog. Anthony Davis isn't freaking out every time he touches the ball. Just saying, they might be a little bit better. But This is a tough matchup for this Wolves team, I think. So the Lakers are deep. They are good. I think they can just sneak out a win. And the last team that I want to add to, the Sacramento Kings.
They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs for the first time since 2006. I'm on the bandwagon. As you can see, I've got my Kings hat on. I'm absolutely loving this. I think they can win. Now, that's the NBA slate. Bang all that in. Off you go. They're my best picks. NCAA Final Four. We talked about this earlier in the week. San Diego State over FAU. I like San Diego State just because their defense is absolutely psycho. And they'll be able to strangle just the life out of FAU. That's a 9 seed. First time a 9 seed's made the Final Four. Give me the Aztecs over the Owls. How can you have a team named like Owls? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm a
intimidating at all.
Nocturnal animal that you never see.
And
it's like, all right. And in the other game, Miami take on UConn. They're 5.5-point underdogs. I actually kind of like Miami to cover this game, but UConn just to sneak it out. I think that's the absolutely really, really rip snorter of a game. UConn might just sneak out the win. If not, I love Miami plus 5.5. And then if that all goes to plan with San Diego beating FAU and UConn sneaking out a win over Miami, I like San Diego State over UConn. You can get 425 for San Diego State right now to win it all. And obviously that'll be substantially better than if these two teams win through. So I'd take San Diego State right now. UConn are good. They're great. I like San Diego State's defense so much, though. So there you go. There's your entire NCAA March Madness broken down. Pretty good. Enjoyed it. Stats guy, what do you got?
Back to the F1 Australian Grand Prix again. I'm going to have a look at Alpine, which is the French team who now have 2 French drivers. There's a lot of good chemistry going on here. You got Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. It's rare in F1 that you have 2 drivers of similar sort of abilities. Most teams have a clear number 1 driver, and they sort of are very selfish and things like that. This team has really good chemistry, and I actually think it's working to their favor this season. Both of them to make the top 10 or the points is $2. I thought that was really, really good odds. They're a lot faster than previous years. I said Haas and McLaren have dropped off. Aston Martin and Alpine have sort of come up. You had both Alpine cars finish in the top 10 in the first race, one in the second race, and they both love racing in Australia. The last couple of years, they've both finished in the top 10. So they really like these tracks at Albert Park. I was going to say Melbourne Park, but Albert Park. Ocon and Gasly, though, they're 2 of the really classy drivers, and I'm surprised they're on the same team because usually you have Ocon would be the number 1. But yeah, they work really well together. They also don't mind if one of them has to sit back and do defensive duties and sort of hold people off. So they just work really well together. And if they can get in the top 10 in qualifying, I think they're guaranteed for maybe even like top 8, probably 7th and 8th. I'm going to back them for. So $2 in that top 10. Really good value for Alpine.
That's awesome. Love Alpine as well. It just shows you how far an F1 team can go when your entire diet consists of wine and cheese. Alex.
Yeah, pretty much.
Donation time. So keep it nice and simple. Collingwood to win, Carlton to win, North Melbourne to win, Penrith Panthers to win, South Sydney to win, the Brisbane Broncos to obliterate the West Tigers.
This doesn't sound simple.
That's in the line. I'm just looking for winners. Brisbane Broncos, though, minus 16.5, so we need them to absolutely smash the West Tigers. Then we go to round week. It's day 1 of the championships. I cannot wait. Let's get around Godolphin. They dominate this day. Race 4, number 3, Sequestered is my best bet of the day. And then race 6, number 1, Cylinder to win the Sires Produce Stakes. How many ever legs that is, I can't remember. It'll get you 65.52. Let's go!
What could
can't lose, I don't think.
Go wrong?
Everything, because line betting sucks.
I love it. There's not a loser there. That's incredible. Nice one. Good job. I always love the donation. Liam, F1 winner. Who's going to take out the actual race? Give us your top 3. Let's go. Podium.
Top 3, I'm going to go, Max Verstappen and Checo Perez in second and Fernando Alonso third. But I wouldn't mind, if you have a bit of extra money, chuck a few bucks on Fernando Alonso to win. He could randomly pull it out with their fast car for Aston Martin. $8 he's paying, so yeah.
I reckon we do see one of the Red Bulls come a cropper. I think we get a Checo win, Alonso second, and Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc, if you have a few podium, even Leclerc, maybe top 4 because he loves driving in Australia.
And he won last year, right?
And last year, yeah.
Let's do it. All right, good stuff. Set up for a huge weekend ahead. Remember, we have our AFL show, our NRL show, our EPL show as well as our daily show. So if you've got a specific sort of sport that you want to follow and listen to us talk about, boom, go check those out. On Spotify, you can subscribe to all the different shows. They all do pop up in your feed, though, so keep an eye out for all of them. That's it for CoBet Daily for today. For this week, we'll be back on deck on Monday. All of us hanging out, chilling, not illin'. So get around each and every one of the shows that we do. There's a lot of them. Like, review, and star them all. Check us a follow on CoBet on all the socials, YouTube, Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok. Send in any questions, any bets, any tips, anything you want us to shout out. We'll make Stats Guy do it. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers. Hopefully Cody Rhodes wins the main event on Sunday.
This is Code Wrestling Daily. Right. Thanks to Geraldinho for producing. As always, he does a great job behind the camera. And what do we say,
Absolutely.
Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
Nice one. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. This is CoBet Daily. Out.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.